Oh, what's up, everybody? I am back with a new spoiler review. Today, I'll be covering Mortal Kombat 2. 5 years awaited sequel to a movie that, in general, was pretty good outside of the character Cole Young. And as expected, he is in the film, but notice how in none of the marketing he was not seen whatsoever. We'll get further into it here, but before I do, please do me a huge favor and leave a like in this video, leave a comment, and let me know what are your thoughts on Mortal Kombat 2. Subscribe and follow to my YouTube and Twitch channel, Talkative Carl, as I stream games, react to videos, and review content. So first things first, we'll revisit the trailer that got really good word of mouth going with this film, and honestly, it was one of my most anticipated films of this year. And I just wish this and Street Fighter, which is also something like a lot of people are looking forward to, would have come out in the same weekend. I stand on that. Because as I went to the theater, there was 3 people ahead of me. They already got their popcorn and everything like that, before I got my ticket registered. And they was dressed up in costume. It was 2 dudes and 1 girl. I forgot what the girl was dressed up as. I'm pretty sure it was Sonya Blade, while the other 2 was obviously, was dressed as Scorpion and Sub-Zero, the 90s classic version. So I was like, good on you, man. I kind of wish I was a little ahead in the theater already so I could ask, to get a picture with them, but, is what it is. But in any case, let's revisit the trailer, and then I can just start talking about it.
Uno mas, thanks.
You're Johnny Cage. I loved Citizen Cage when I was a kid.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
They should do a reboot.
Nobody wants that. Shit went out in the 90s.
Johnny Cage, you have been chosen to fight.
Tell me you're not some crazy fans. How were you doing that?
Are you coming or what?
Where the hell am I?
It's called Mortal Kombat. It's a fighting tournament. To the death.
Fuck that.
This is a war for the fate of your world.
You dickheads in or what?
Oh, he guess he was in the
I'm not
trailer.
some champion. I don't have transformer arms or shoot lightning bolts. This shit's got nothing to do with me. I'm an actor.
I find you annoying.
Not the face.
There's a war going on outside. You can run, but you can't hide forever, ever.
It's time to become the hero you were meant to be.
All right, you big ugly fuck. It's showtime. Get over here!
Only the strong survive.
Finish him!
Are you shitting me? You don't have any pounds?
Just incredibly handsome.
So yeah. All right. Okay. First things first. We'll cover like who's in it. Once again, this is directed by the same director of the previous Mortal Kombat film, Simon McQuaid. Jeremy Slater wrote this film. Pretty sure he also wrote the for the previous Mortal Kombat. Sorry, so 1 second here. All right, sorry about that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Jeremy Slater written the first Mortal Kombat film. He also wrote for the Moon Knight miniseries, Godzilla and Kong: The New Empire, Umbrella Academy, The Exorcist, and Fantastic Fan Four Stick. So it's like, what? Anyway, did he write for the first Mortal Kombat film? No. No, wait a minute, yes. No. So he only came into write for the sequel. So hopefully we like, if there was any good parts in Fan Forest Stick, I hope he was a part of it, or the credit goes to him. Hopefully, of course, Ed Boon has have a cameo in this. He's the bartender in a scene, but we got Carl Urban playing Johnny Cage, who was teased in the previous film. We got Adeline Rudolph as Katana, and well, somebody in this cast was also going to be in the Street Fighter film. Is she the same? Is she the one? Is she? No. And she's a relatively new actress, because I think because she was in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Riverdale, the 2022 Resident Evil film on Netflix. Seen this film in 2024 called Laid. But in terms of big movies, she was in Hellboy the Crooked Man. And this year, not only is she going to be in Mortal Kombat 2, but it's also this movie Do Not Enter. So 2026 is going to be her big year, honestly. We got Jessica McNamee as Sonya Blade, reprising her role. Josh Lawson returns as Kano, and him, and of course, he's once again still in the show, but him and Carl Urban together, they are just like hilarious team. Oh my god, it was so funny. You got Ludi Lin as Liu Kang, McCade Brooks as Jax, Tati Gabrielle as Jade, and honestly, she has to grow her freaking hair back. She does not look good bald, and she's gonna be in that stupid Naughty Dog space boy boss girl movie. Sorry, not movie, a video game, and like, God. And of course, she's like one of those kind of bull-nosed feminists. She even got a picture of herself, like one of the few images that pops up was her like a colored hair and bull nose ring. Golly. And I love Jade. Just like I love Jade in Mortal Kombat. I played her a lot in Mortal Kombat 11? Or Mortal Kombat 1? Whichever the one that had Kotal Khan, the last Mortal Kombat game that had Kotal Khan in it. That's the one I played as Jade a lot. She was my straight up the main I use in online matches. So just to get Tati Gabrielle to play as her is almost like it stings a bit. You got Louis Tan coming back as Cole Young. We'll get to it. Damien Harriman as Quan Chi. I'm shocked Quan Chi was even in this. Chin Han as Shang Tsung. Tadanobu Asano. Sorry, I butchered the hell out of that name. Plays Lord Raiden. Joel Talisman comes back as Bihan / Noob Saibot. Hiroyuki Sanada comes back as Hanzo Hasashi Scorpion. Martin Ford plays Shao Kahn. Desmond Cham as King Jarrett. Anna Tu Nguyen as Queen Sindel, Max Hong as Kung Lao, and C.J. Blumfeld as Baraka. Which one of these people is also going to be in the Street Fighter film? Because that was like a thing. Hold on, let me take a quick look because it's going to bother me. It's like... It's a female. Oh, maybe I misunderstood or something. I could have sworn. Because got Kalina Lang as Chung Li, Mel Johnson as Cammy. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I must have misunderstood or something because I could have sworn there was a female character that was not only in Mortal Kombat but also in the Street Fighter film. So I don't know. I don't know where I got that from. But anyway, the actors involved are doing a fantastic job. Honestly, this is so good. So anyway, picking up, after the events of the first film, where, because the tournament was only like, it hasn't started yet. Raiden was pretty much just assembling some fighters while Shang Tsung was trying to do some underhanded play by, whittling down the best fighters so that way it lessened the likelihood of Earthrealm putting up a decent fight in the actual tournament. But now this tournament is beginning. And of course, thanks to Quan Chi, quite a few people are coming back, like Kung Lao, Buzz the Revenant, and Kano, who comes back, but not as a Revenant because it requires Quan Chi to twist a soul, but you find it kind of difficult to twist something that's already twisted or corrupt something that's already is not enough to corrupt. I mean, if you know the lore of Mortal Kombat, and I do love the lore of Mortal Kombat, just like I do like the lore of Street Fighter. Me personally, I'm more partial to Street Fighter, but I have like a deep love for Mortal Kombat and its background. And so if you're like a true fan of the games, you will deeply love this film. I almost guaranteed. You're not expecting Citizen Kane from these films. What you are expecting is something fun. And it's something that's sorely missed in films nowadays. There's no girl bossing. There's no political agendas or soapbox speeches. None of that crap that we've been inundated with film in the past handful of years from majority of Hollywood at this point. Just like with something like the Sonic films or Detective Pikachu, or even something like the Ryan Johnson's murder mystery films. Things that we understand that movies are meant to entertain. It's not meant to try to teach some fundamental lesson. Well, at least not try to lecture the audience about what they should think. And, we know better because we're, leftists from Hollywood that, once been the right side of history or some kind of crap. No. There's not the space for any of that crap. And the writers behind this understood the assignment. Clearly are huge fans of this franchise. And it's a thing. And when it comes to making proper adaptations, whether it's like a video game or whatever, there has to be respect for the material. Do not think you're better than a material that's been around for X amount of years. That's the thing. That's where a lot of directors and showrunners fall short on, because they think they're above it, the material, and they're not. Most of the time, you didn't create this material. You're adapting it. At most, you might be adding on to it, but you're not the one who made it. So don't get too big for your britches by mucking with something that's been working for multitude of generations. And if you manage to at least give good entertainment, you at least won the audience in that aspect, and that will take you farther in a lot of ways. And that's just my personal opinion. This is a fun movie. Even if you don't play Mortal Kombat extensively, Mortal Kombat has been around for so long, just like with Super Mario, so you will be tangentially familiar with a lot of these characters. So you will get some enjoyment out of this. Liu Kang is on the same level of notoriety as Ryu from Street Fighter. I say they're even on that scale because they've been around roughly in around the same time. I think Mortal Kombat maybe existed a little bit longer than Street Fighter. I could be wrong, but it's fairly even. Everybody knows about fatality. You say something like fatality, their brain instantly goes to Mortal Kombat. So I want to just make sure I get that part out the way, because I think this movie succeeded exponentially with that. And this is something I hope with Street Fighter later on in the year, which, given the trailer, just like with Mortal Kombat, the writers behind the scenes understand what they're making. They're having fun with this. They understand the lore, and they showing respect for the material. And understand they also at the same time have to respect the audience and know who the target audience is. And because that's the main thing. If you're adapting something, know who the core audience is, making it for them, and have some great writers behind it. Make sure it's entertaining, and people who probably even don't play Mortal Kombat or don't play Street Fighter like that, they'll be drawn in by good word of mouth from the actual fans, and not the shills, but actual fans. So it's like, oh man, you should go see this Mortal Kombat film because all the characters are fun, wacky. There's good jokes. The combat is cool. Like great visuals. They'll sing those kind of praises, which entices people who don't play video games, will be a lot interested at the very least seeing it, and hopefully after seeing it, they're going to be kind of interested in playing the actual games. That is the pathway you as a writer and director will want the trajectory to go towards. Anyway, so we are introduced to Carl Urban's character, Johnny Cage, which I was interested. I don't want to say I was like hyped to see Carl Urban as Johnny Cage when he was first announced. I was a little shocked, but as time went on, I'm got more interested in see his take on Johnny Cage. I don't think anybody was in the camp of Carl Urban as Johnny Cage. That was so dumb. Why would you do that? Like, I don't think anybody said that. I think Carl Urban's been on a tear in terms of performances, whether it was The Boys or Judge Dredd or a multitude of like pop culture stuff that he's been involved in. Like I won't say a trifecta, but he just hitting like a lot of pop culture beats in character choices, or at least roles in certain movies. Like he has been in quite a few pop culture stuff that he loves this kind of stuff. You can just tell. So he, after seeing it, he definitely felt the role pretty dang good. I wouldn't go so far as to say perfect, but pretty dang good. I love his interactions with all the other characters, because it's something what people wanted in that first film, where if you wanted like an eyes into the world of Mortal Kombat, after so many years since a live action adaptation, it should have been Johnny Cage from the first moment. Instead of this random character you just invented for the film, but nobody liked. And honestly, a lot of people, including me, have pointed out that if it wasn't for that character, the first movie will probably be about on par with this film. Because this film is really good. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. This is really good. But that character was so... Not like he was terrible. He was just bland. It was like a nothing burger of a character with some janky Wakanda armor or something. And I just want to get this out the way here and now. Of course he dies. I'm shocked. It took close to the second act before he met his end, which had to be against Shao Kahn. Could have been Shang Tsung. Could have been at least Quan Chi. It had to be the most... It's like the writers had to do some kind of apology within the film to the audience, because of course he had this whole thing with his family and all that other stuff, which obviously we don't see a speck or trace of them. They just because I think this is an apology to the fans who did not like this character. And one of the rare moments in movies that I've seen in my lifetime where a character is so hated, and it's not the actor's fault. I don't think anybody blames the actor. He offered a big role in Mortal Kombat. Why would you not accept it? But it's more the fault on the writers who created this character for no reason, to try, except for we need an excuse to get newbies involved into this world, because the casual fans or even the advanced fans will know this, but we need to get people who haven't played Mortal Kombat get into this, so we need to explain stuff to them. No, the heck you do not. Like I mentioned before, the word of mouth from the actual fans will spread, so the people who haven't played Mortal Kombat or even video games period will be interested in at least checking out the film just by good word of mouth. So you don't need some lame excuse of a new character to do the eyes into this world. Certain IPs don't require that. Most IPs don't require that, matter of fact. So once he was selected to go up against Shao Kahn, he gets, of course, the iconic Shao Kahn fatality with the Warhammer or Wrathhammer, the giant hammer, and got his head crushed. And then it was in the stage level in Mortal Kombat where it's the acid lake, in the dungeon area with the hooks and everything like that. He gets his head crushed, and he's kind of just used his hammer and kind of almost like a push broom, and just quietly, subtly just push the corpse into the acid lake. And in my mind, I'm just thinking the writers is just sorry everybody, we will never do this again. Let's just forget this ever happened. Just quietly, just forget it. And I think a lot of people have the same consensus where it's it's fine. Yeah, that's fine. And no joke, when Cole got taken out, there was a kid in front of me cheering. He got taken out. That was wild. I had to hold back my laugh because I could not believe it. Little kids were applauding because like this is only 5 years old. This is like maybe 10 max of years old of children, and it's like, how are you even privy to the fact that this character's lame and you're cheering for it? It's like, do you have even like the context of why you're even cheering? Unless your parents, allowed you to watch the first film 5 years ago when you was probably tiny and probably couldn't register the context of the film. Or I don't know, maybe, who knows? But it's just like there was children in the audience cheering at this guy's death. That's how bad this character was. You got tiny kids applauding. He probably got the biggest applause, or at least second biggest applause, compared to the applause this movie got at the end of the film once everything wraps up. I had a nice full audience in the theater. They were applauding. They were, they had like a grand old time. But the fact that the children in the audience applauded at that guy's death, it was wild. Wow, that should tell you a lot. Oh God, sorry. So anyway, I wanted to get that out the way because I've been sitting on that for a minute.
Phrasing.
So anyway, Quan Chi brings back Kano because a while back Kano stole the amulet of Shinnok. And if you played Mortal Kombat X, you're familiar with the character of Shinnok. Well, he's been at least mentioned in other Mortal Kombat stories prior to X, but I think X was the one that I think a lot of people remember him most from because he was actually a playable character. So he had this amulet where it can offer the user immortality. Of course, Shao Kahn wants it for himself, given the fact that he already murked Edenia, took over after beating the last champion of that realm, which was the king and Katana's father. And so took the queen and the daughter as his wife and child as part of the win. He's ruler now. And of course, to certain people who are not familiar with the rules of Mortal Kombat, which they kind of briefly touched on here in the previous film, in the world of Mortal Kombat, there were, massive wars, people trying to conquer other realms. I'm pretty much just summarizing it. People constantly trying to conquer other realms, and it was pretty much chaos. Because it's different realms besides Earth Realm and Outworld and Edenia. There's, other realms like the one where if you played the recent Mortal Kombat game with this vampire chick voiced by Megan Fox, comes from a different realm altogether where primarily a lot of them are vampires. And there's a couple of others, but just want to let you know about that. But in order to keep things relatively civil and fair, to keep some kind of semblance of a balance, they decided to make a tournament where each round, if they want to conquer or whatever, they have to win 10 straight tournaments and the winner will be able to conquer whatever realm they're combating against. So, of course, Outworld, where Shao Kahn is from, wants to take over. of Edenia and keep going with other realms. Earth realm being the next one on the chopping block. But they do this every 10 years. Where the elder gods decide, okay, it's going to happen. At least let's have some semblance of fairness and control. So the elder gods, in their great wisdom, decides to select who they deem like the best fighters possible, 10 of the best fighters possible for a particular realm per selection to fight to save their realm. If they win, they can choose to, keep the peace or take over the other realm. If they lose, then if the other challengers want to take over, then they ain't gonna stop it. It's fair. It's called Mortal Kombat. Then it's like, if need be, it's a fight to the death. You don't have to, but it's not. It's not something they're against. So that's basically how this tournament thing works in a nutshell. So Shao Kahn wins Edenia, and as he pleases, he takes the wife. At some point, kills her, turns her into a revenant. So she's a complete obedient wife. Meanwhile, adopting Katana as his own child. Honestly, people making the Thanos Gamora comparison, and honestly, people know that Shao Kahn's been doing this way before Thanos made it cool. Hell, even the comics, it was never a thing where he had Gamora adopted Gamora. I think in the comics there was always a thing with him and Nebula, but of course I don't know about current comics now because they like to make everything match up with the movies exactly instead of just doing their own thing. But in the past, Nebula looks vastly different from what the movies depict. But as I did like a comic book review of the Infinity Gauntlet, the comic that the movie was adapting, I bring that up. So at some point check out my comic book review of the Infinity Gauntlet. It's a massive story, so I try to cover as much as I can. So definitely check it out. So, shoot. Better check. I had like something in the oven. Better check on that really quick. Sorry, be right back. Okay. It should be done by the time I'm done with this review. Anyway. So, Katana, who has been conspiring with Raiden, feeding him information about what's been going on in Edenia and what's going on with Shao Kahn. Raiden needing another person to fight for Earthrealm, the STs goes find Johnny Cage because Kano was fighting for Earthrealm. He died because he went turncoat in the previous film. I love how we introduced Johnny Cage. Really, like, you have to do it the way they did it. He's like, you know, a washed up 90s action star. So he does at least these Comic Cons and nobody go to his booth and everything like that. If you've been to a con, whether it's in San Diego or just your local city, it's pretty much exactly like it. They you know, like, obviously a lot of them probably been to cons in multiple states, probably in a couple of countries too, so they know how the setup is. So it just looks very like on point. So they go find Johnny, convince him to come and fight for Earthrealm, but as soon as they have to break it down to him, like, yeah, there is a chance, well, not even a chance, there's a strong chance you will probably die. And he was like, F that, he's peacing out. There is some kind of stock lines that you have to push through. Because, like, you know, the kind of stuff you know hear from most films, especially back in the 90s, it's like, you know, I don't know, I'm not that guy anymore. And it's like, maybe he needs to wake up or something like that. It's like kind of stereotypical, you know, lines that, I don't want to say lazy writers, but most writers tend to kind of, if they can't come up with like more organic dialogue, they just go to the old well and insert this particular line. Most people probably won't care, but a certain film, you know, lovers of film will kind of take notice, and most of them probably will kind of groan at certain lines like that, but it is what it is. Anyway, so Johnny and Katana get chosen first. She spares him after he loses the fight. Of course, he at first didn't want to participate, goes back. Sorry. 1 second. What is it? We got to type a whole soliloquy. Sorry, it was my mother. It's like I had a whole entire freaking day, and you want to do it while I'm streaming right now. Golly. Anyway, so he loses, she spares him, and I do love, like, I'm not. It had to be the writing and the direction, because I'm not sure if Carl Urban came up with this on his own, but when he's dazed, he's dazed, and he does the character wobble when, like, and then the fall back, just like the, like, if you know the games, you are familiar with it. I thought it was such a nice touch. It's one of those things they didn't have to do that, but that's what I'm saying. They respect the material. They respect the audience and who they're catering to. So the fact that they put that in there kudos to them. He does the wobble, and it's like you can just hear the music. You get the your memories just follows back to the games, and you just like does a fallback, and I can just see it. Oh my god, it's just like it was brilliantly done. That was a nice little touch that I didn't know if anybody would ever ask for this or even thought about asking for this kind of little touch. But the fact that they threw that in there speaks volumes. It's kind of like in the trailer of Street Fighter where you actually see a character beating up a car, like in the games. Didn't have to include that, but the fact that you did include that shows that you care about the fans of this material, and you are fans of this material. So it's like applause all around. Thank you. But she spares Johnny Cage, so he's out. And he got these little glowing diamonds in the air where, like, to signify when one fighter is down and how many are left on each side. So that was a pretty nice touch. At first I was thinking, like, is that supposed to be the health bar or something like that? But no. That would have been kind of funny. But no. That was just like how many people are left. So and of course Jade is part of the fighters for Outworld, but Katana requests the good guys, hey, do what you can, but please don't, kill her. So it's Jade versus Jax, and Jax returned the favor. He told her, like, you spared one of our guys, so I'm just returning the favor. Now we're even. So I thought that was cool. So, of course, we get return of Revenant Kung Lao, who fights against Liu Kang. And, of course, Liu Kang knows how they call each other brothers, but in game canon, they're cousins. But they spend so much time together, they consider themselves brothers. So, if you're a fan of the games, you know that little bit of tidbit. But if you're not, for all intents and purposes, to your mind, unless you speak with fans of the game, you just think there are actual brothers. But no, I just thought I'd make sure I put that out there. So knowing how Kung Lao fights, he doesn't fall for that trick that he pulls where he throws his hat into the ground, causes a buzzsaw thing, and knocks opponent on it. Liu Kang tricks Kung Lao, grabs on his arms, and yoinks him on top of the blade, cause kind of self-kill in a way, and promises he will bring him back. And the Shinnok amulet, yeah, I think I mentioned, like, they revived Kano in order to figure out where he put the amulet, and I thought it was kind of funny when they had to point out, it was like, because it was just in his pocket this whole time, and like I think it was Jade, he was like, "You could have just searched his pockets this whole entire time, and you brought him back for nothing." And it's like, yeah, that's kind of a good point. Like, why was that not the first thing you did when you found the corpse? Ruffle through his remains to see if the amulet at least was on him. So you have to drag the body all the way out to a whole nother realm to revive it. Anyway, what else? So they use Quan Chi uses the amulet, after Kung Lao slit Raiden's throat just a tiny bit, just enough where he gets a bit of his godly powers pouring out. So Quan Chi, is pretty much absorbing it into the amulet because it needs a godlike power as a suitable power source in order to charge it. So once he pressed it up against Shao Kahn, it granted him immortality. And given the, I know it's a big MacGuffin, but it is a MacGuffin in the games too. But given the fact that he wants to ensure that he doesn't want to take any chances, you know, after nearly losing a chance to win Adenia against a pretty capable fighter, he doesn't want to take that chance again. So he knew at some point, don't know why he didn't try to get this all squared away way before the next tournament will start. God knows why. That seems like something pertinent he would have got done as soon as he won the last tournament a generation ago. His first, you know, once he got his own like council and army, everything like all squared away, which should have been taken maybe a year at most in order to get the foundation set of your rule. Then the next order of business would be having your loyal followers search for this amulet, get that all squared away, and then by the time everything starts kicking off for the next tournament 10 years later, he'll already pretty much got everything in the bag because he can't die, therefore which gives him an edge over any combatant he might come against, no matter what realm, which clinches his win. Although I'm thinking about like, what if he got pushed in that river acid? But you know, pretty sure he'll find a way out because he's immortal. So unless somebody, well, he has to die, or at least get knocked out for it to be considered a loss. But he can't even be incapacitated if he's immortal. I would say can't be incapacitated. He just can't die. And his wounds heal, so it also probably grants him self-healing. Not as quick as like Wolverine's, but it's still though. So he needs this amulet to make sure, you know, he has the proper defense, probably the ultimate defense ever, especially in a Mortal Kombat tournament. After Kano gets brand new eye from Quan Chi, he links up with Johnny Cage. Well, after they meet with Baraka in order to get through a secret tunnel in order to get inside to find the amulet inside the walls of Shao Kahn's castle. Well, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. Once they get inside the walls of the castle, they try to get the amulet out of this cage. Of course, new Cyborg comes up after Quan Chi revives a dead Bihan who's in the Nether Realm. Now he's new Cybot. In order to take the amulet to the Nether Realm for safekeeping. And of course, which I'm kind of shocked on certain deaths here. I think everybody knew Cole Young was going to get murked. Sonya Blade kills Sindel, which maybe I missed it because I had at some point had to get up to use the bathroom, but there was no moment with Katana. Maybe she kind of made peace with the fact that her mother is kind of like a dead revenant, but there was no moment of sadness that, like, dang, I lost. Now I have neither one of my parents. But I was shocked to see Jax get taken out. And the fatalities and the gore in this, phenomenal. But geez, that was one of the ones that was hard to watch. That someone had to watch her best friend get stabbed through the neck by the handle of Shao Kahn's hammer. It's okay. It's Mortal Kombat. A lot of these people end up coming back and playing their times from death. So, but still, except for Cole Leon, he's never coming back. That's a guarantee. But that one, Jack's death was a hard to watch death. But I'm applaud the brazenness of certain deaths. Even beyond Jax. But Kano, not wanting Earthrealm to become bleak and miserable like Outworld, because he selfishly wants to do certain things that won't be around if Shao Kahn takes over. So he teams up with Johnny Cage. They go to Netherrealm with the final assistance of at least whatever little energy that's Raiden has left, to send him to the Netherrealm to find Scorpion, who kind of rules Netherrealm in a way, to help him guide them to wherever the amulet is. In order to get him to convince him to do it, they have to let him know that Bihan is still alive-ish. So, with interest aligned, they go after new Cybot with a cool-ass fight. Fighting like, Shadow Bihan and Bihan. And, they managed to get the amulet, but with Jade realizing that things have changed, she saw, and I'm so glad there's no lesbian thing between Jade and Katana. It could easily have set this up. Like, no, there's none of that stuff. They're just friends, and she realizing, okay, my friend's in danger. I want to help her because this is kind of whack. So she somehow get herself to Netherrealm, and teaming up with Scorpion, Kano, they use their power to like fire at the amulet while Bihan is holding it, and Johnny Cage finally tuning into his power and does his famous shadow kick to destroy the amulet in order to release the godlike power to revive Raiden just in time to avoid getting killed by Sang Sun. And he knocks him out off the top of the temple. And just as Katana, Liu Kang, and Sonya Blade fighting Shao Kahn, shockingly, it's probably the biggest shock, they kill Liu Kang. He gets stabbed, but he also transcends. I'm not sure they're trying to tease the fire god Liu Kang here. I'm not sure. But he kind of ascended into flame like some kind of ethereal angel or something like that. I'm not sure. That part was a little bit weird. But it's still shocking. He still technically died. And Sonya gets knocked out. So now that Sonya decides to fight for Earthrealm, their side gets light up one more time. So now it's one left on each side. With the amulet destroyed, now her lethal kills are permanent. And she does her fatality, cuts off his head. Now she's the ruler of Edenia. And the peasants around her does this weird Rock Nation movement or something. I'm not sure what's going on with that. That was like a weird choice. Personally, I wouldn't have gone with that. It seems stupid as hell. But part of me feels like the director is trying to do some kind of Wakanda Forever here. It's just like not every like nation or race or whatever needs their signature Wakanda Forever. You need to stop that. Like it could just have them bow or applaud. Let it be that, because it seems corny to me. Anyway, so the movie ends with Kano bringing in a captured Quan Chi. Don't know how he did that. It feels like there's a couple of things, a couple of places where it could have done well with some added scenes in order to fill in a couple of gaps here and there. But somehow Kano managed to capture Quan Chi off screen, so they're going to utilize him to bring back their friends. And that's where the Mortal Kombat ends, with the awesome theme song. So yeah, Mortal Kombat 2. I mean, the plot a little thin, but overall, if you're a fan, you pretty much can track it pretty dang well. But all in all, pretty solid. It's a good B, maybe a B plus. Really good. Man, I cannot highly recommend this more. This is definitely a massive step up from the first one, and it is like I guarantee the first mission statement was to get rid of Cole Young. It just felt like a huge apology to the fans out there who had the biggest complaint the first movie got. Probably almost the only complaint everybody had was this bland ass character. I'm shocked they even held him on as long as they did. I expected him to die off immediately, kind of like Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, where he just immediately gets murked first few minutes on screen. I expected something like that, but maybe just not to discredit the actor who was just doing a job, and he nobody was really like laying in on him for accepting the job. People was criticizing the character. Nobody ever said anything about the actor. They criticized the character. That was a poorly made decision, which had nothing to do with the actor himself. He didn't make the character. He was just doing an acting job, which is a shame because he definitely deserved better. Anyway, that was Mortal Kombat 2. Clearly setting up 3, which I'm all for. Would be cool? Just like in the games, we have all these crazy cameos from other IPs. And they have something akin to that. Some kind of weird crossover with a special guest kind of character. Like Spawn, or it was kind of funny if they gotten like Kratos, or even Predator, or a Xenomorph. That'll be kind of dope. Just kind of like a homaging to special guest characters they've been doing since Mortal Kombat 9, which is almost in a way a tradition at this point with Mortal Kombat. It's kind of like their own little niche thing. I won't say a niche thing, like lots of characters, like lots of games like Soul Calibur do guest characters, but it's almost expected with Mortal Kombat for a good 10 years now. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of Mortal Kombat 2. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Definitely a recommend. I will see you guys in a little bit. I have a Daredevil Born Again Season 2 to review, as well as a Seth Rogen movie, because I want to stick to my Mother's Day theme month this year. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of Mortal Kombat 2. And I will see you all soon. Peace.